I think it's super important to realize like what the pandemic did to markets, especially our markets. You know, everyone cooped up in New York City is now going into the suburbs and the outer markets, which is not only drive up prices, right? It may drive up supply. If you know that your neighbor's house just sold for $100,000 more than what you thought your house was worth, you might test that market.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, the question is going to be, is it going to be a knee-jerk reaction, right? And is it going to be a point in the market where like the immediate New York City market, the 5 boroughs, take a hit potentially because people are getting out of, you know, the living on top of each other, right? I don't know.
Well, I've been talking since 2008, right? Since the economy really crashed in 2008. Now, obviously, we're in a different position today than we were then. But I've been always talking about if you want to stay ahead in today's market, whether you're a parent, whether you're an uncle of somebody, you know, getting there and trying to build your, you know, momentum to build a family, and you're single, whatever it may be in life, you have to be economy proof and recession proof. And the only way to figure that out is by making more money than you know, pay out, right? So if your bills are XYZ, you got to make more. But then you also have to have the ability to save long term, right? So here in New York, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, even with the higher commissions, right? If you continue to live paycheck to paycheck, you can never become economy recession proof. So I've been trying to figure out over the last few years, how do I get down to like South Carolina, where like I can almost, you know, get buy a house, $300,000-400,000. My taxes aren't $16,000, they're $1,200. Okay, now more money's what? Going to principal, right? So it gives me the ability to retire at a certain age. And even if I don't want to continue to live in the home I live in, right, after 20 years, after my house is paid off in 10, whatever it may be, my children can just go get a normal paying job with their degree to afford that house that I live in, right? To make it their own, which they can't do here in New York. You can't give your kids the house. You can't give your kids that you know, that scenario that you work so hard for so long. So what I'm starting to see is I'm starting to see people around me die in their home. So I've been in my home 15, 16 years, right? Some of the owners around my house are original owners. Their kids left them there by themselves, shoveling snow at 70. You know, and I'm not trying to be harsh about it. I'm trying to be realistic about it, you know, and yeah, granted.
I also want to put something on that though. So like I'll use my mother as an example, right?
Where's she at?
Not only is she stubborn, she's about an hour into Jersey. They call it literally central New Jersey, right?
Okay.
Lived in this house since I'm born. No mortgage on it. It's been paid off for years, right? My dad paid it off for her, which is super nice.
Luckily.
Right. But taxes, I would assume 15 to 20,000 a year. Insurance, upkeep, grass, you know, 2,600, 2,400 square foot house. Because she won't leave. I told her 10 years ago, let me buy you a condo in Florida, 100,000 cash outright. Go. I'm not going to go there and die. So I'm like, okay, well, I live an hour away. Every time it snows, I'm not coming. She won't let anybody plow her driveway. You know what I mean? She does all my
points.
It keeps her busy, but she doesn't want to leave. That's all she knows.
Yeah. I mean, but longevity by us going outside because of the warmer climate, like it's 85 degrees in South Carolina right now. Florida's a little too hot for me. I lived there for 2 years. It's just brutal in the summertime. It's brutal. You know, it starts at like 7:30 in the morning, just like 90-something degrees. You know, but I know, but you could get around all that. I lived down there. I lived down there for 4 hurricanes right in a row. We moved down there, boom, 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 boom. But you always have something, whether it's the snow or this and that. But like you said, you have the hurricanes. But the weather. So you have the ability to, you know, to go outside, and going outside and doing activities outside is going to make us as human beings better people, happier. Right. You go down to South Carolina, everybody's happy. Hey, y'all. That's how they start conversation with you, right? Here, I feel like they're overpaid. They're underworked. They're unappreciative. They're getting older. It's harder to survive, you know, and these are the things that, you know, depress us in life. And I've tried and I preach, man, education, motivation, you know, informing. Those are the things I talk about. Be kind to yourself and everybody around you. You know, again, 2008 for guys like us was a huge, huge understanding. All right, we learned the hard way, because one day it just wasn't there anymore. The thing that we knew in our 20s and some of our 30s just wasn't there. You know, so to go into that again and seeing this, you know, COVID-19 happening, and we kind of were, I think we were on the up and up right away, where the government came in and they stepped in and they helped the banks, and the banks had more, they had way more money than they had back then, they, you know, backed wise. But at the same time, I think it was definitely detrimental to us, and especially guys like us, to think we're at this age now, what do we do? We're going to restart. And, you know, Jeff, man, I appreciate, you know, you just talking to me for a few minutes, because, you know, I'm here at my dining room table for 14 hours a day, you know, with my kids in the background, you know, my family's here. it's a different achievement now, man, you know. And it's like you wake up and all of a sudden you just start work, and then it's Zoom meeting, and then, you know, meetings like this even, you know, where I feel like you're my friend now. You know, we talk now, we know each other. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be about always making money, but at least we can help people out there. Like I say, educate, you know, motivate and inform. And I think that that's something that you're really big with right now. You know, that's what it sounds like, especially with your consultant agency, right?
I think, you know, another good point you made is, or that another good point that you said, that I don't know if you even know it was a point, is in today's world, the coronavirus exposed a lot of unnecessary expenses, and I call them financial weaknesses, right? So like yourself, you haven't left your house and met anybody for a mortgage
75 days.
For 75 days, but you're still doing business, right?
Correct.
So you could theoretically sell your house in New York, move down to South Carolina, probably buy it outright cash, or buy the same house for half the
fractions
price,
of the dollar. Yeah.
Taxes are 90% less, and no one will ever know. You could be sitting with the same backdrop and the same microphone in front of you, same headset on. No one knows who you are. They don't care. You're still plugging away.
Homeschooling your kids.
Right. So you could literally plug and play anywhere now, and I think that opens a lot of people's eyes up. I was up there with a big mortgage bank, $1 billion a year mortgage bank, that they brought me on to help them with marketing, branding, and basically re-kickstarting, you know, their entity after COVID, if you will. They do $1 billion. And I'm like, wait, why do you guys want to open up more branches? I'm like, COVID just showed us, if anything, you close your branches like the department stores are doing. Go online. If you're spending $800,000 a year on rent unnecessarily, put $100,000 online paid ads, the right paid ads, the right target audience, and you'll make $1 million. The $800,000 is not making you money. No one's walking into your bank anymore.
Right. I totally agree. And when I left 3 years ago, that old dinosaur days, I came over to Total and I was looking for a company that was telecommuting already, where the underwriters, the processors, they're already off staff. They're not in my building. Maybe they come in once a week just to check it and show their face. But for the most part, they're 7 days a week at home. They got their own schedule. They're with their kids. And COVID didn't, like I said, I'm working off of my dining room table, but I've been at my branch for 3 years telecommuting. There's no processing. There's no underwriting. I go in there myself. There's a few loan officers there, but we've actually had that ability. You know, we didn't just go home one day and everybody was just home and that's it. And the whole company just went home. We really didn't skip a beat with that, you know, and I praise that all the time. If your pipeline is short or you don't know where to go, and I can help you. I can help you build your pipeline. I can help you telecommunicate. I've been doing it for years, and that's what I do. And there are some states that make you have a branch, like New York, obviously, you know, but we'll entertain that. We'll get into it. We'll figure out how to grow the business that way. And whether it's today or tomorrow, I feel like Total Mortgage is doing $200+ million a month. We're closing 850 loans still right now, you know, and still having the ability to control our marketing, our leads, our loan officers, the branches, you know, and servicing those people, 24-hour turnarounds. I mean, the back office hasn't skipped a beat, man. What's been slow are the titles, the CO searches, the settlement. And when I say slow, they've just been slow.
All the people that are slow normally anyway, they're just slower.
I'm waiting on, every deal is waiting on appraisal and title, like those two last things in the world.
Right, you know, they sucked before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Even the best companies are slow, in my opinion.
I mean, like the bigger companies are like 90-day turnarounds easily, you know. But listen, man, you know, you chug along, you be positive things happen to positive people, man. I always say, be kind to everyone around you and yourself, man, you know, and the more you can express yourself, you know, the more you can get out there. And, you know, the content that we both share as well, we watch it, we like it, you can turn it off if you don't. It's all good. I'm cool like that. You know, I'm not forcing anybody to do something that they don't want to do. But we're all in this together, man. No doubt about it. You know, and now, you know, one day, you know, there may be a contact between me and you that somebody else needs some help and vice versa. You know, and it's just good to know more good people out there. You know, not people that are just money hungry driven. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. You know, I'm the complete opposite. We made all the money in the world back before 2008, man. We spent it. That's what we did, you know, and now we're in a position right now where we kind of redefined ourselves in, you know, 14, 15, and 16, you know, and now, you know, we got to do it again in a sense, you know, but man, you know, why don't Jeff, why don't you tell everybody, you know, how they can reach you? You know, give out your information. I'm speaking with Jeff Van Note. He's the mortgage quarterback here. Tell them about your podcast that you have, just like mine.
Yeah, I would say the best way to follow me is on Instagram. It's at the mortgage quarterback. You know, I post there frequently. A lot of it's a ton of information, a lot of content all over the place. It's more about market updates, trends, what I see. One thing I believe I'm a market expert, industry expert to an extent, definitely a market expert, and I understand and study consumer behavior. And I think by understanding consumer behavior, you have a good forecast on what the future can or cannot bring. So really just keeping people up to speed with a very raw, you know, selfless approach. Like I don't share stuff with people to be the guy that shares stuff with people. I share what I believe to be valuable information that, you know, when I've made mistakes, I didn't know information. So I only learned from making mistakes because no one felt the need to share with me the proper information. And some people just didn't know the proper information. So if I see something or I spot something, I'm going to share it to give people a heads up. Whether they choose to listen to it or not, it's obviously up to them.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
It is. It's deposit.youtube.com. So you could type that in, deposit.youtube.com. Takes you right to my YouTube channel. You can find all my podcast episodes right there.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for speaking with me. You guys are watching Can Your Banker Do This? I'm Darren Kaplan. Remember to be kind to yourself and everybody around you.